rocks on the far high bluff too. So there's a bluff on a bluff, and then at the top of that, that's the cemetery. That's about where the crypt is.
That's great.
So the videos we take from the cemetery are from up on that top bluff. That line of trees is the hillside facing the river, where like that crypt type thing is.
Very cool.
Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
And then there's the Mississippi River, and they stack. This is where they start stacking up barges. You can get it. I'm pretty sure it's in there. And what they do is there's pilots, and the pilots are people that are local, and they do their own stretches of river, 50, 60, whatever, how many miles. And there's 3 or 4 pilots for each section, and they stack them up, and then one guy goes back and forth all day in the same spot, and they get to go home at night and stuff. There's one of the houses where they get to get a little bit higher up and they can see, and they use binoculars and they mark the numbers and they communicate. I don't know if it's a manned one or not, but it might be a digital now. But that's the whole idea, is that they'd be waiting here and they'd see the barges coming from the south full, and they bring coal to the north, and gypsum are the 2 big things. And then also, well, coal and gypsum is one of the trains, I'm sorry, which is the train tracks right next to us. The barges is grains from the south to the north, and then empty barges from the north to the south to fill back up on grain. And they would stack up in here, and then they would stack up north, and then that's what Mark Twain did when he was a young man. He was the kid that would ride on the front of one of his jobs was riding on the front of the steamboat when they were in shallow water, and he would drop a plumb line, a heavy weight on a rope down way in front of the boat to make sure that it was deep enough for the boat to go through and not get stuck. Which is why his name was Mark Twain, and I know everybody knows that's why his name is Mark Twain, but there's a few people out there that still maybe don't know that his name for a measure. More interesting is that he was born and died with Halley's Comet, so that's pretty cool. But it is several stairs right here. It looks like you got a level here, you've got a level there, and you got a level at the way top, and it's pretty cool. Hannibal itself, the nickname, well, 2 nicknames. One nickname is America's Hometown, and it's kind of cool because it does remind me of LaPorte, where I grew up, and that's a neat tree. And the other name is Bluff City because it's built on basically 5 big bluffs like this in a triangular pattern, which makes it confusing as heck to find your way around. Once you figure it out, it's not too bad, but you're used to a square city grid, so if you drive into it with the mentality of, oh, I'm in a square city, you get lost every time. I mean, even once I knew it was a triangle, I kept getting lost, and I still do on occasion. It's a very confusing layout for a very small town.